Here's my dissected sheep brain. I'll be going over just some of the main features of the brain. Starting with the top view down, we have the pia mater, arachnoid matter, and the dura mater, which is the outer layer of these matters. They essentially form a sac around the brain. They're delicate and they protect it. Here you can see some of it dried, and then here's an area where I have removed it. This largest portion of the brain is the cerebrum. It deals with movement and temperature regulation, and it has 4 lobes. The first is the frontal lobe in the front of the brain, the parietal lobe, the occipital lobe, and then the temporal lobe on the bottom. This area in the back is the cerebellum. That deals with motor and balance. And then you can't see it because I have cut the 2 lobes in half, but it is the corpus callosum, and that essentially connects the 2 lobes of the cerebrum. On the bottom of the brain, we have the medulla. We have the medulla right here, which is part of this brain stem. That is where essentially the cardiovascular and respiratory systems link. Then we have the pons right here, and that deals with the unconscious processes. Up here we have the olfactory bulb, which deals with smells. And it's kind of difficult to see just because of the dissection, but we have the optic chiasma, which is right here. It's kind of an X. And this is where the optic nerves would have connected, as you can see right there and right there. On the inside of the brain, there are 4 ventricles, 1 and 2 right here, 3 and 4. These are places where, or they're essentially cavities where cerebrospinal fluid is, and that acts as a cushion for the brain. The cerebral aqueduct connects the 3rd and 4th ventricles, and then on the roof of each of these ventricles, it's difficult to see, but there are choroid plexuses, which is essentially just capillaries on the roof of that to protect the brain from the cerebrospinal fluid. Right here we have the hypothalamus. Right here is the thalamus. That is the information relaying system, and then we have the hypothalamus right below it, which controls the heart rate, and then this area of those 2 is called the diencephalon. Right here is the pineal body, and that essentially deals with the light and dark cycles of our environment. If you look at the cerebellum split in half, these white lines that branch off is called white matter. That is essentially just bundles of myelinated axons. This area is the midbrain. It's a passage for the cerebral cortex. Then we have the hippocampus over here, which is learning and memory. And then if we take this apart, the darker areas right along here is gray matter, and those contain neurons.